Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Let me make sure these settings look okay. Yes, they are. Hold on a second. We got about 9 minutes until the monthly close. We gotta stream the monthly close. What choice do I have? So, all right. So let me flip this over to this index here, and we're gonna have the monthly candles up on this one. So we're coming up on a monthly close, and the current month. So let's just rehash, no pun intended. Let's rehash the last several months. Okay, so we had 6 months where it was just up only, 28%, 43%, a modest 47%, 14%, 37%, and 30%. So we had 6 months in a row that were essentially up only. Then in April, we discussed the idea, at the very least. And remember, we said the other day, we're not out of the woods yet. So I know some of you are already online with Forbes. I would say we have a little bit of ways to go. But back before this whole shenanigans started with the dump and everything, we said expect a 3 to 6 month lull in the market, right? Expect it. So don't go into the summer assuming we're just going to go straight up. Now, as we look back so far, we had negative 2%, a modest minus 35%, negative 6%. This month, we're actually back up 19%. Okay, so July, while it didn't start out very promising, it started out at around $35,000. Right now, we're back up to almost $42,000. So we've gone up 19%, and we're about to put in a monthly close. Okay, the nice thing about monthly closes is it really does help filter out the noise of not only daily candles, but also of weekly candles. I mean, if you look at weekly candles, they tell a pretty nice story. Monthly candles tell an even better story. Okay, they tell an even better story because they have a way of filtering out some of the nonsense that might go up on a wick or something like that on a given week. But with monthly candles, you're able to to filter out even more of the noise. We could also look at, because we have January, February, March, April, May, June. We've also just started I should say last month we started our 2-month candle. So we're not going to have a monthly close on that, or a 2-month close on that one until next month. But you can see that this 2-month candle, okay, we'll see if we hold the line here at about 35K. We have another, sorry if there's a lot of background noise, we have another 31 days or so that we need to go in order to prove, okay, we're going to hold the line here at 35K, which was the bottom, which is where we closed the last 2-month candle. But anyways, we're coming into the monthly close here in about 5 minutes. Now, unless the Bitcoin bulls come out in full force within the next 5 minutes, unfortunately, it appears that we will not get our coveted 11th day in a row. Okay, is it still possible? Anything's possible. I mean, it's what, a few $100. We closed yesterday at 42,230 and 63 cents. So if we can pump back up to 42.23K within the next 5 minutes, then we have a chance. Okay, we need to go up about $500. So if we go up $500 within 5 minutes, we need $100 a minute, essentially, in order for us to do that. Right now, it's not looking so promising, as actually in the short term at the moment, the price has been bleeding back down. So not looking good at the moment for our 11th candle that's green. But 10 in a row is fairly substantial, right? 10 in a row is fairly substantial. I don't think we're gonna be too distraught over Bitcoin having a red candle. All right, let's see. What do we have? I know there were some exchanges where we already had a red day. I get it, I understand. I'm not disputing that in any way. I know there were some exchanges. The main exchanges that I look at here, this is the index. This is Bitstamp, which had 10 in a row. And if you go to Coinbase, it had 10 in a row. So, I mean, I understand there's some exchanges. Binance had a red candle. I don't know what Kraken had. But what are some other, so there's Bitstamp. We already looked, let's look at Bitfinex. So Bitfinex was just straight 10 in a row. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of them had 10 in a row. Some of them, of course, came up a little short. But anyways, right? I mean, who really cares? I mean, to some degree, it's a joke, anyways. We're not taking this to the bank or anything. Some of you guys are taking it to the bank or something. We're not taking 10 daily candles in a row to the bank. So whether it was 8 plus another 1 or something after a red day, whatever. But on this one, you can see it was 10 in a row. Looks like we have about 3 minutes before the monthly close. So we'll see where our monthly candle puts us. Now from year to date, we opened January at around 29K, just under 29K. So year to date, Bitcoin is up around 25%. So not so bad. I mean, just a week or two ago, we were only up a few percent because we were at 29K. So right now we are up. Let's see though. I mean, it's one of those things where it's really nice going up, and I told everyone, when things are bearish, this is when you want to accumulate. Don't stray, just DCA. When we move up super quickly, there's always reason to be cautious. I would say always reason. 10 days in a row. I mean, I'm still bullish. I'm still definitely bullish on Bitcoin, right? I mean, I think that at least for the cycle, right? For the cycle, I'm definitely bullish. But I also recognize that we can have slight pullbacks. Again, sorry if you can hear my kids upstairs, but I wanted to pull in the monthly close here. Let's see. Someone says 11 daily candles for Ethereum. Okay. It's funny because the exchange I happened to be watching Ethereum on, it actually was red. So that was why I wasn't following it as much. But I'm guessing just like Bitcoin, there were some exchanges where it was actually green on the one that I saw as red. Yeah, the kids aren't happy about the red candle. They're getting pretty upset. So if you hear them screaming in the background, they've been cheering on Bitcoin for a while now, and it looks like we're not going to have our 11th in a row. So it looks like we're actually going down right before the monthly close, which is interesting, of course. I would always expect some volatility around these major closes, but it's coming up here in just a few, in less than a minute now. We're coming up on the monthly close. So let's see where we close it out. Right now we're at 41,498. We have, it's 8 o'clock. Okay, so we just started it. So it closed at 41,488. So that is where July closed. So it's interesting. Let's zoom in here. We closed just above the wick that we had in June. Okay, so we closed just above that wick that we had in June. Now we're on to August. And we will in fact see what August has in store. You can see we did put in a red candle here. Not really that big of a deal. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, tons of times over here we were in a general uptrend. We had some red candles sprinkled in, of course. The main thing that I want people to be at least aware of is that you can get pullbacks, right? You can get pullbacks, and especially coming off the 50 week, we need to be careful and keep an eye on our 20 week, okay? Because this is as we put out a video earlier today, we said this is the real battle, right? This is the real battle, or maybe that was yesterday. And the real battle for Bitcoin especially after bouncing off the 50-week, it's getting above the 20-week. Okay, that's the real battle. And I mean, I don't know if we're going to do it or not. We'll keep a close eye on it. You can see, history has not been kind. We'll put it that way. There's a first time for everything, of course, but history has not been kind in terms of getting a bounce off the 50-week to the 20-week. So I would say, my opinion on the matter is it's a win-win situation. Okay, we either go up now and everyone sees their portfolios balloon, or we pull back and have a few more, a little bit longer playing in the sandbox, and then we go up later on. So to me, it's a win-win. Obviously, some people would prefer for it to go up immediately and then just, take their profits and rinse and repeat in a few years. I would prefer a more longer and drawn out phase. But again, with Bitcoin, you take what you can get. And remember now that if we do go back down, if we do, you could argue we're still in our sandbox now, but if we do go back down and go, back in this region, remember, when things are bearish, that's when you typically want a DCA, right? So during these phases, when the market is telling you, it's a lot. I find it more fun to buy into fear and sell into greed than to buy into greed and sell into fear, right? Because if you buy into fear and sell into greed, you're typically buying low and selling high. If you buy into greed and sell into fear, you're typically buying high and selling low. So you want to make sure you're on the right side of that. So whatever your emotions tell you, if your emotions are gearing you towards that one direction, just remember that is typically not the best direction to navigate the market with. So with that said, you could obviously make a case for the bulls and the bears. At least we're below the last cycle's ROI at this point, so you guys don't have to hear me whine about that anymore. I know back in March, a lot of people were not happy with me constantly saying, well, we're still below, we're still ahead of schedule. At least we're not ahead of schedule now, right? At least we're not ahead of schedule now. Now the question that's on everyone's minds is it up now or is it up later? Right? Are we going to come down a little bit more and then go up? That's the real question. We'll have to wait and see. Sorry, it sounds like a stampede is going on upstairs. Let me look at the comments here. Yeah, I know things are overheated. The RSI has shot up, right? But still technically room to grow. That was one of those things we discussed for 3 months. If you guys have been following the channel for the last several months, we discussed this and said, look for this breakout. I honestly am surprised it was as strong as it was. But that was the breakout, that was sort of the line in the sand we discussed that we needed to break. And fortunately, we were able to break it. And you can see how quickly the market has turned around here. We should have a lot more clarity on things, probably even by the end of this month. We're either going to continue this trend or we're not. And so by the end of August, I think we're going to have a lot more clarity on kind of where the market's headed. If we do continue this uptrend, we're going to be testing the 20-week relatively quickly. We're going to be testing it relatively quickly if we continue the trend here. And that, I believe, is the real battle. And that is the battle that will tell us whether, we're actually getting, we're heading to new all-time highs, or if we're going to continue playing in the sandbox for a while. So look out for that in the month of August. Look out for to see if we get above it and come back down and test it out of support, or look for a rejection. And I think that will help guide us for at least the rest of the several months at least. So if you guys like the content, remember to subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up. We also do have a Telegram channel. I will post it for you guys. We have over 44,000 people. So if you guys want to go hang out with 44,000 of your closest friends, make sure you check out the Telegram channel. I will not message you first, so please ignore the scammers pretending to be me. Someone says the basement door just opened. Yeah, the bull market support band has a 20-week estimate, the 21-week EMA. We're already above the 20-week or the 21-week EMA, but we have another day to go to actually close above it. So we have one more day to go. If we close at the current level, then we'll actually close above the 21-week EMA. In order for us to get above the 20-week estimate, we need to go up to around 44.6K. So we need to go up. We would need to have a rally of approximately $3,000 within the next 24 hours. So if we have a $3,000 rally within the next 24 hours, then we're actually above the 20-week estimate for the weekly close. Have I been watching the link move? Of course I'm watching the link move. I think with altcoins, it's always best to never get ahead of yourself, right? And to remain, sort of really conservative on things, especially when Bitcoin's below the 20-week, right? Because when Bitcoin's below the 20-week, these moves can just be ripped out of your hands as quickly as they were put there. So I'm happy that Link's above, I'm happy it's above $20. I'm happy that there's a chance that we're finally putting maybe we're actually finally changing our downtrend against Ethereum. So somewhat hopeful. With that said, we still have a ways to go. And it's going to take us, even if Bitcoin remains bullish, it's going to take us a few weeks before we can say get above this. Because, Link USD is one thing, but Link Ether is not looking, it hasn't looked good for a year now. This is going back until, August of 2020. It's just been bleeding. So we want to find a bottom there and then move back up. Remember, Link does the best when Bitcoin is above its 20-week, but not going parabolic. So if you want to see Link do well, you want to see Bitcoin get above its 20-week and not go parabolic, just sort of chill above the 20-week. That's essentially what happened with, if you go back and look at Link USD and you look at this move back in August of 2020, and July and August, Link was going parabolic. And in July and August of 2020, you guys know what was happening. Like Bitcoin had just held the 20-week as support. So we were above the 20-week, but we weren't actually putting in new all-time highs. So that's where you want to be. That's where you want Bitcoin to be if you want to see Link do well. So right now we're below it. So I think there's still reason to remain relatively cautious until that happens, okay? So I do have a position in Link. Don't get me wrong, I do have a position in Link. But I want to caution people into thinking that it has to explode. Let's see if Bitcoin can get above the 20-week, and if it does and holds it as support, then hey, that's when historically Link rallies, right? When Bitcoin's above the 20-week. All four of these major rallies by Link were when Bitcoin was above the 20-week and not putting in new all-time highs. Every single one. Bitcoin is above the 20-week, not putting in new all-time highs. That was when Link rallied. What are my current thoughts about XRP? Yeah, it's one of the ones that has probably been one of the worst performing ones out of the top, that was in the top 10. I think it'll probably break its all-time high at some point, this cycle, like this market cycle, which again, I don't think is ending in 2021. But it's probably going to be a while, honestly. Probably Bitcoin will put in an all-time high before a lot of, before like XRP. XRP hasn't even put an all-time high in 2017 or 2018, so. What price is the 20-week? Well, right now it's at 44.6K, but remember, it's going to be changing in about 24 hours. It should be dropping by about $500 to $1,000. I mean, it depends on exactly where we close at, but it should be dropping by, maybe almost $1,000. So maybe in 24 hours it'll be close. It might even be around 44K, maybe a little bit lower. We'll have to see where we close. Someone says, "Why do I like Litecoin so much?" Obviously, people should know that he's kidding. Litecoin is not a coin that is worth your time, in my opinion. Do I think $100,000 Bitcoin is reasonable by the end of the cycle? Yeah, I think 100K Bitcoin is reasonable by the end of the cycle. Yeah, we can take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum is now back above its 20-week, actually. So, I mean, that's at least somewhat interesting, that it's back above the 20-week. It's interesting because Bitcoin's still below its 20-week, but Ethereum's 20-week is at 2387, and we're now at 2531. So yeah, I mean, and remember too that even if we go sideways for a while, we did this last cycle, right? We did this last cycle. So yeah, I mean, it's interesting because it's like, a $2,500 Ethereum is nice. But back in May, when we were talking about, expect a lull in the market, it's hard to get out of bed for a $2,500 Ethereum when we were trading for $4,400 back in April and May, or let's say, like the beginning of May and into middle of May. So yeah, I mean, is a $2,500 Ethereum nice? Yes. But again, we said expect a summer lull. And I mean, earlier in the summer we were at $2,800 or $2,900. So am I going to get out of bed for a $2,500 Ethereum? No. I mean, $2,500 Ethereum is I mean, this is something we hit long ago. So I mean, I think it's interesting, at least. The Ether Bitcoin, has been on a pretty crazy journey, and this is the trend line right now that's sort of holding us down. We'll see if we can break that trend line. That's just the trend line of we've been looking at the last few weeks on Ethereum. So far, if we sort of gauge it, it's not even drawn that well, honestly. Let's see if we can draw it a little bit more accurately. Our imaginary line in the sand. So we got rejected off of it at 0.082, and then around 0.077 or so, and then around 0.068, and then around 0.0642. So now if we were to come back to it, it would probably be around 0.062. So maybe look to see if it can actually break this, or if we just get rejected again. Again, with Ethereum, the summer has historically not been a great time. Now, it doesn't mean it can't bounce around in the summer, but again, if you bought in May, you're still down. If you bought at the end of May, if you bought say May 23rd, then you'd actually be up. Right now, I feel like the summer is mostly a wash, right? It's sort of like, yeah, it goes up, yeah, it goes down. Are we putting in new all-time highs? No, we're not putting in new all-time highs. So yeah, I mean, I think it's nice that this rally. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this was a red candle here. So I guess there's probably, someone mentioned that this is 11 in a row for Ethereum. So I guess there's probably some exchange where this is actually green. Let me go see if is it green on Coinbase? No, it's red on Coinbase. Maybe it was green on red on Binance. Where is it green? Bitstamp? Nope. Someone told me it was green. Oh, there we go. Binance US. All right, so Binance US How's 11 greens in a row, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So on Binance US at least, this is our 12th candle. But so far it's green, right? And in order for it to stay green, it just needs to close above 25.32 and 72 cents, and then we'll have 12 greens in a row for Ethereum. So let's go back and look at Bitcoin. Well, I don't really think we're going to stay on much longer. The Keela89 says, Ben, I know you've looked at alts recently and thought most projects are useless. It's funny because I was reviewing anytime there's like, a lull in the market like this one, right? And that's really the time you can research whatnot. And I was looking at a lot of these projects that you guys show me all the time. Like half of them are basically just copies of other projects with like different marketing teams. It's funny because I think a lot of projects, it's all about how they market themselves, because 99.9% of the people don't understand the technology anyways. So a lot of them are essentially just copying code from another project and just, spouting out some, BS use case for it. So I would strongly encourage you to really do your due diligence on the projects you're invested in. You can run a simple diff on some of these, especially these decentralized, some of these platforms and whatnot. You can run simple diffs on them and see, which code is basically just a copy and paste of another code. So especially if you're into yield farming, I would encourage you to, I'm not going to give you financial advice, but dumping the native token is typically in your best interest. That's not to say that all projects are bad, right? There's plenty of projects I don't talk about that I think are perfectly fine projects. It's just that a lot of them in the top 100 are I just don't think they're worth your time. But I don't, I'm not going to get into some political thing here with the bag holders of the altcoin projects. So that's not a fight I want to get into. What programming languages do I know? Mainly Python and C++ is what I use the most, but I've also have experience with Fortran because I had to use it as some internships and back in college. And then I use MATLAB a lot, but that's not really so much of a programming language. So I'd say Python and C++ are the main ones that I use. Someone says, when can they schedule their Forbes interviews? Not today, right? Not today. Maybe tomorrow. We'll have to see what tomorrow brings, but not today. What is my favorite reply to E4? E5. Someone says that of sheer curiosity, what's wrong with Litecoin? It's not, again, it's just the fact that it doesn't really do anything except bleed against every other crypto, right? Here's your Litecoin Ether valuation. You might say, well, this has been in a downtrend since April of 2019. That's a hell of a long time to be in a downtrend, right? And it's not just in a downtrend. Litecoin has lost 90% of its value, okay? Think about that. Litecoin has lost 90% of its value against Ethereum over the years. And I could imagine if it maybe had a pump or something. Like if it, let's say like if it came down here and then pumped up here and then came down, fine, maybe you take advantage of that. But if it's just down year after year after year, then what's the point, right? What's the point? 90% against Ethereum. It doesn't really seem that attractive. If you go look at, say, like the Litecoin valuation against, say, let's do it against something else. Let's do it against ADA. Let's do it against ADA USD. Look at this. So Litecoin's valuation against ADA is down 96%. I mean, 96% drop of a Litecoin ADA valuation. You want to go look at the Litecoin, what's another project? Link has been one that performed really well a couple years ago. This past year it hasn't done as well. Even though Link hasn't done as well, the Litecoin Link valuation has still bled 81%. I feel like it's hard to find projects that, that stick around that Litecoin is performing well against, right? What are some other projects you guys want me to compare it to? Yeah, we can compare it to VeChain. Well, VeChain. Let's take a look at Litecoin VeChain valuation, right? So Litecoin VeChain valuation, it's down 93%. So again, you say, well, why don't you like Litecoin? Find me an altcoin that is actually, like a somewhat well accepted crypto. And which one is it not down against substantially? I mean, it just seems like it's down against everything. Maybe XRP would be a good one to compare it to. Let's compare it to XRP. Yeah. Okay. So they basically have just both been doing about the same since 2017. Recently though, I mean, at least this year, if you want to go like say year to date, Litecoin's down against XRP about 72 or 73%. Now that's not a fair comparison because XRP, Litecoin was pumping and XRP was dumping because of all the SEC stuff. So I don't really think it's a fair comparison. Yeah, EOS. Someone says EOS. EOS is another project that I don't. I mean, yeah, I mean, even against EOS, it's lost value, which, I mean, that is saying something, right? That is saying something. It's down 70% there. What are some other ones? That's probably enough, right? That's probably enough. We made the point. Litecoin Sears. Yeah, maybe against Sears it's done okay. Someone says barbecue coin, is that even real? Yeah, it is real. BBQ coin. You guys don't remember BBQ coin? You guys haven't been here for a while, huh? Let's go find good old-fashioned BBQ coin. If you don't know what BBQ coin is, then you are missing out. By the way, I say this, I don't go buy this coin. This is a coin from another era. Another era. BBQ coin. I think at one point it made it to this is a historical snapshot from 2013. A simpler time in the market when you had things like BBQ coin at number 23. I think it even made it higher than that. Let's go to October. In October, where was it? Maybe it actually dropped by then. I don't even see. Oh, here it is, 24 in October. Where was it in 2014? I can't even remember anymore. But BBQ coin was it was a simpler time, right? When even things like BBQ coin could be in the look at this garbage. I mean, it's like, you know, it's number 23 back in late 2013. Yeah, number 24 still. I think at one point it like made it to like 8 or something, or not, maybe not, like maybe like 11 or was it 23? Let's go to like July. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna keep worrying about it, but oh, here it is. Look at this. Look at this. July it was at 15th. BBQ coin was at number 15. Or was it in June of 2013? This is 2013, by the way, guys. Look at this. In June of 2013, BBQ coin was at number 12. What type of nonsense is that? It was at number 12. Yeah. So that was a simpler time for sure. All right, let's see. We're now at 41,636. So, I mean, this rally so far has been up. Right now, we're up 41% from the bottom. I mean, from the top there, 44%. About 44, 45% or so. Not a bad rally. We've seen rallies like that before off the 50-week. So again, I mean, you know, these things, it's not like it's exactly unprecedented, right? We've seen rallies off the 50-week before that were similar, right? Similar. We'll see that, and that's why I keep cautioning people, and I just say, you know what? Wait to put on your moon boots, if you want to call them that, until we're back above the 20-week and holding out at support. Until then, got some work to do. Link's now above $23, which is nice. You can actually see that Link's coming up on its own bull market support band, which is ranging now from $23.92 up to $27.72. So Link is trying to get back above that. The last time it was above it on the weekly was back in May, and that was when it was above $30. 30 and up was so back in May. So it's been a while since we've been above it. Someone's 9. All right, shout out to 9-year-old Jordan. Remember, we do have the premium list. If you guys want to check it out, we have a sale going. Lock in the low rate. I'll put it in the description below, or in the comments in the description, if you want to know how I'm navigating the market. All right, shall we wrap it up there, guys? We brought home the monthly close. We unfortunately did not get an 11th day in a row. The streak has ended. We have a new month upon us. Now, what do you guys think? Sentiment is really polarized right now, I'd say. So, you could make a case. You could make a case either way. Are you worried? Are you worried about how quickly things are going up? Or is the contention, well, we went sideways for 3 months, right? We had our summer lull, right? We had it, so it seems natural that things should go up. Are you worried? You think it's too fast? Do you think, you know, this is normal? I'm curious what your thoughts are. I mean, we've gone up this fast before, and we kept going up for a while. We've also seen bounces off the 50-week that peaked at around 50% or so before they came back down. You could clearly make a case both ways, right? I mean, you could clearly make a case both ways for the Bulls and the Bears. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you guys think this is a breakout or a fake out? So let me know. What do you think, breakout or fake out? It's funny because, um, okay, so I'm actually seeing, uh, I'm seeing both. I'm seeing people say breakout. I'm seeing people say fake out. It seems like more people are saying fake out. I don't know. Maybe that means it's not. Um, but honestly, that sort of sentiment doesn't really hold because back in like December when I would put out polls saying will Bitcoin break 20K, it was like 75% of people were saying it would break out, and it did break out. So we don't always go against the market. We don't always go against, say, like the general sentiment, at least in the polls. So we'll see. I think what's more important is how you react to these moves, right? It's like if it's a breakout, your portfolio is going up. If it's a fake out, well, I mean, I sort of think that even if it's a fake out and you go back down, it just gives you more time, right? Um, so it's a win-win, more or less. A lot of people say we need more time. Well, I mean, even if it is a breakout, right? Even if this is where we go up, right? If this is where we go up, there's still plenty of room to go. I mean, if Bitcoin, if the market cycle peak does end up being between 1 to 200, that's where I think. I know other people are a little bit more bullish than I am on that. That's fine. You still, I mean, if it really is 1 to 200K, you're still looking at like 2.5x up to maybe like a 5x, like 2.5 to 5x from here on Bitcoin for the cycle. Those are more or less the bounds I would put on it, even from this point. So, I mean, I guess it just depends on if you want more time to accumulate at lower levels, or if you just take what you get. Kaner says, could this just be the relief rally we've been talking about? Yeah, I mean, it could be. We spent the entire summer talking about when are we going to get a relief rally, right? So we got it off the 50 week, which as we, as the data suggested, we've had bounces off the 50 week many times, right? I mean, we had a bounce here off the 50. We had a bounce here off the 50. We also had a bounce here off the 50. Okay, so it's not that unusual to see it. Right? It's not that unusual to see it. And that's why we need to break the line in the sand. The 20 week. That's what we need to break. Someone says the biggest relief rally ever, if true. No, that actually is not true. I mean, if you go back to 2014, this rally from the bottom of the wick was it was 100% move. I mean, it went from 330 up back to like $700. And if you don't want to cherry pick the wick and you just go to the bottom of the candles, it was still a 66% move. So far, we're not even up 50%. So it's not even, I mean, even if you go from the bottom of the wick here, we're up 45% or so. And remember, the other one I measured from the bottom of the candle, that was like 60 something percent. If you go to the bottom of these candles, it's only 31% so far. So it's definitely not the biggest rally we've seen off the 50 week. At what point in the market would I stop DCAing and just save up? I just base it on the risk levels. Again, that's part of the premium list. We have the sale net you can find in the description below, but I just do it off the risk levels. I don't really care about anything else. You still think Ethereum around under 10K for this cycle? I mean, I've said before, I think it could be around 10K. Plus or minus a few K, right? What's a few K among friends? We'll see. I certainly think we'll go higher than $4,500 within the next year or so. Within the next 1 to 2 years, I think Ethereum will, be much higher than, reach higher than 4,400. But Yeah, I mean, I think around 10K. By the time we reach 10K, I'll probably be mostly out of the market. But it also depends on how we get there. Okay, so it's not about a specific price all the time. It's about how we get there. Like, is it a slow trend up over years? Do we go to 10K in a month? Right? I mean, it depends on how we get there. When Plan B interview, I think he's going to come on in a couple weeks. He said he would reach out, or maybe I would reach out in the middle of August. I think so. So yeah, we're going to talk about cycle theory and stuff, and see what he thinks. All right, guys. Why don't we wrap it up there? Thank you for tuning in. Definitely subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. Give the video a thumbs up. And we do have, again, we have the Telegram channel. If you guys want to join it, we have 44,000 people in there. So if you're looking to continue the party, check it out. Join the Telegram group. And I will see you next time.